from the Big Red.
And Matt Santer, he is a captain on this team. He cannot play. Kenzie, what kind of role do you think that'll play if a captain is out of a game for a team that has been struggling defensively, such as Big Reds?
We talked to Coach Reeves before the game, and he seemed pretty confident in the team winning this game. He said their practices haven't been that great, but through everything, they've still connected and stayed as a team. And I think if you have confidence in your coaches, and if your coaches are that confident, it kind of rubs off on the players. And hopefully, Matt Sanders is still pushing his team just as his coaches are.
And so he has had a lengthy history of injuries throughout his career. That has not derailed him, but he will not play, along with Skylar Terrell and others. Skylar Terrell has led that defense. He has already picked off 2 quarterbacks for a total of 2 times in these first 3 games. That is a big loss in their secondary, and with them being so thin in the secondary, I look for Huntington to throw the ball.
You're absolutely right. They have had a lot of injuries. They've had 2 other players that have split shoulders as well, and their team kind of starts off as a young team. They have 2 sophomores coming up that are playing on They're starting, aren't they?
Yes, 5 different sophomores starting the game, and that was about the same situation during the Brook game, the season opener, and Cody Roney will get ready to kick off the ball. We are just about ready to start, and here we go from Stadium Field. And this will go in the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Kickoff goes into the end zone. It will be a touchback. Huntington will begin play. 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line.
Huntington's going to be in play. That's 1st and 10 at the
20-yard line. The 20-yard line.
20-yard line. I apologize.
So now Mark Shaver coming out. He has not had a lot to throw as the offense has been anchored by the running attack that, as you said before, has ran for 900 yards within these first 3 games. They're the flex bone offense, man in motion. Shaver will pass. He'll look down the field, and it is caught
by number 13. It's going to be Clark Wilson.
And so now here they go, throwing the ball, and Mark Shaver. We talked to his coach,
Clark Shaver's pass is complete to Clark Wilson.
He has been accurate as well, and if they can get him in the game, as well as the run game, this will be a tough tandem, and they will hurry it up here. Now up to 37 after a 17-yard pass, they pitch it back, and a big hole opens up, trucking through defenders and getting down to the 45, an 8-yard gain.
Hendricks, the ball carrier.
Dante Hendricks really seemed to move it up the middle. Maybe they're going to play a different.
Hit was made by
maybe they are going to play different than they have in some other games. The coach said they were going to do more of a west to east.
Brings up 2nd and 2 for the Highlanders.
A west to east coast type running scheme. And so now Shaver's still in the flex bone offense. And Hendricks has averaged over 100 yards per game, and the ball's handed off again.
Peyton Christian, the ball carrier.
Peyton Christian, the ball carrier, and that will move the ball ahead.
Picks up a 1st down
about
for the
11 yards and a 1st down for the Huntington Highlanders. And Kenzie, what do you think needs to happen for the Big Reds to stop this ground game?
I think their defense really needs to be on point and on key. They just need to focus and keep what the Coach Reeves and Coach Ludoff have been keeping them in practice. Just do what they've been taught. Coach Reeves said they really haven't worked on defense. It's more been passing the ball, and he said that's where their points are going to rack up.
And another nice run.
Brandon Morrison, the ball.
Brandon Morrison, the sophomore running back, got to the outside and got 15 more yards, and that is exactly what Coach Don Reeves has said, trying not to get the runners to the outside, and Matt Santer will.
Jonathan Nall made the stop.
Looks like Matt Santer can play after all.
Will play. That was shocking. I had to look over these stats.
Especially after his injuries, maybe in his senior year, he's just going to push it out and try.
And so they will hurry it up here as we're not even through 2 minutes of the ball game, and they have covered over half the field. Option pitch. And he is derailed at the 30. And Dante Hendricks gets another healthy dose of the ball, and Matt Santer will make his first tackle of the game.
2 yards on the play, brings up 2nd and 8 for
So
Huntington.
2nd down and 8. They are getting very close to the red zone, and Parkersburg's red zone efficiency has been, well, horrid for the start of this season. And we will see how they do as the Highlanders are just outside. Another pitch to Hendricks as he will take it to the outside. He's the 20, the 15. He'll cut back 10, 5, and he is dropped down to about the 5-yard line.
The ball carrier. He was tripped up on the play by Matt Santer.
And Santer there on the tackle again, a gain of 25.
It'll be a first down.
Hensley, it looks like things are not going the defense's way.
It's really not. And again, you have to put in at the key factors of how this is really a young team. A lot of sophomores are on this team. They've lost a lot of seniors, and they have a lot of injuries. I think the Big Reds, they may not be doing so great this season, but for what they have, they're working with what they have.
And so another run, and he will plow in for a touchdown, a 5-yard strike, and he has reservations for 6. The Highlanders are on the board first. And so, what do you look for the Big Reds to do on offense to try to counter the score by Huntington?
I think what Coach Reeves, what we talked to him about earlier, they really need to throw the ball and move the ball up quickly, just like Huntington has.
And so the PAT is good. And so that drive goes about 2 minutes and 39 seconds as they scaled 80 yards.
The score is Huntington 7.
And so it is 7-0 in favor of the Highlanders. And so as we mentioned before, a young offense and a young defense against a very strong and athletic Huntington defense. And it's all about how you start and finish. And so here it is about the start. And we will see how they do indeed start.
Yep, like Coach Reeves said, it's about their offense and passing the ball, so hopefully this is going to give them the chance to put up some points just like Huntington did. I think both the teams are really confident that they're going to win this week. Huntington said they had a pretty good practice so far, but PHS said they're really not, that hasn't been that great this week. So we'll just see how much, maybe it's what you put into it, you get out of it.
And Tanner Ruley will kick off the ball at the 40. And it's a squib kick, and it will be bobbled around and finally picked back up. And that is not what you want to see early, bobbling the ball. Certainly did not expect a squib kick to come out of the gate. And that will set up the Big Reds with better field position than the Highlanders. A shorter field does not necessarily mean a scoring drive, but at the 28-yard line, they will take what they can get.
Parkersburg will begin.
Andy Nichols seemed to dive for the ball, but he really just couldn't get his hands on it. So hopefully that's not a good way to start out, but hopefully they can recover from this. They, too, are going to start at about the 29-yard line.
And so I formation, Roberts will look, and oh, he overthrew his receiver, and that is the one issue with Aaron Roberts. He really must work on his mechanics, but Lance Hoyler must catch that ball.
It's been it's consistent in his past games. It's not the good kind of consistency either. He's just had missed throws and fumbles and turnovers, and really he just needs to step it up just maybe a little bit more.
And so now a 2nd down and 10 of the 28. Shotgun formation. And he will keep it. And Lindemood was the intended receiver as another drop ball. And wow, you simply cannot orchestrate.
It's really early to say, but this just isn't PHS's night so far. And hopefully still, because it's early in the game, they can turn this around.
And so now a 3rd down and 10. The Big Reds coming out in an offset I formation. He will keep it. He's scrambled out of the pocket. Roberts will not throw, and he will be sacked.
Aaron Roberts on quarterback
Behind the line
keeper.
of scrimmage, it's going to push them back even farther than what they were.
And so now
He's
simply
tackled
you
on the
do
play
not
by
want to
Jonathan
start
Spence.
with negative yards on your first
Loss
drive
of
as
one.
they compiled a
Bring
loss
up
of
4th
1
and 11
yard
for
on
the
the
Big
sack.
Reds.
And
It's
so
going to be 11 to go, 4th and
Back
down.
deep for Huntington is Clark Wilson.
and Wilson is back deep for the Highlanders.
Takes the
Connell
snap.
Foster gets the punt away for the Big Reds.
They punt
Takes
it, and
a-
it's just
Takes a Highlanders roll, and Huntington will take over with fairly good
Punt
field
was
position
down
at the
by Chandler
35-yard
Hamilton.
line. 65 yards to go until Pater and
Huntington will begin playing
Shaver
first
and the
10 from
offense
their
will
35
back
yard
out on the
line.
field.
so. What really stands out between these two teams? How can you compare and contrast between them?
Really, I see it as a matter of offensive line. Just Parkersburg tampering around with their offensive line, trying to get the pieces together, and Huntington looks right on cue. And so, man in motion, and it'll be a handoff yet again. And so that will make it second down after about a gain of 4.
Peyton Christian, the ball carrier.
And Peyton Christian carries the ball out to the 40, and it will
Jonathan
be
Dahl led the charge
5-yard
for
gain.
Parkersburg. It's a gain of 5 yards on the play, making it 2nd and 5 for the Highlanders.
I think it's really interesting how the Huntington, they have the flex bone offense. They have more multiple plays than
Yes.
what
So
PHS
flag on
does.
the
They seem
play.
to more, they
And
seem
so,
to mix it up more.
so flag, it might be a false start, but we will see.
Good ball. False start on the offense.
And it is a false start, and that will back up the Highlanders. And so, as you mentioned before, the flex mode offense, you see at sort of an Army type of Navy, Georgia Tech type offense. Really, they will rely on the option and also the pitch. And the ball carrier will get to the outside, and he will finally be taken
Dante
down.
Hendricks, the
And
ball
Dante
carrier.
Hendricks, the powerful sophomore, will be ushered down by a host of Big Red tacklers.
Corey Burdett, Jonathan Dahl made the
Like you said,
stop for
how
the Big
the
Reds.
Huntington has a flex bone. You see more of the local
It'll be 3rd and less
schools
than
around
1.
here. They still have that shotgun formation. That's kind of
Ball
what
resting near the
we see
Highlander
in
45-yard line.
Ramblers football. Maybe it's time to just mix this up a little bit and try a couple new things and see if this could work for the Big Reds rather than what they're doing now.
And the spread offense has not been working as of late. The ball carrier for Huntington will make it across midfield to the 49-yard line. And a
Peyton Christian, the
first
ball
down,
carrier.
Peyton Christian, another carry. And so coming up on the 7-minute mark, a generally fast quarter
Be a
here.
first down
Still
for the
7-0 in
Highlanders. They
favor
move
of the
to Big
Huntington
Red territory
Highlanders.
to the Parkersburg 49-yard line.
At the Parkersburg 49-yard line.
Man in motion, that was Christian. Here's Shaver, and he is ushered out. He will take off to the 40, 35, and get down to about the 31-yard line. A gain of 18 yards.
Mark Shaver on the quarterback keeper.
And that
Tackle
is
was made by
That was just a
Really?
smart play.
Hamilton.
The PHS Big Reds, their defense, it was just wide open. He took it, he had the shot, and
Change
he
their
went for
dance
it.
to be a first down for the
And
Highlanders.
that is a testament to
The ball
Huntington's
spotted at the
offensive
Parkersburg
line and the
32-yard
hole they were
line.
able to open up. And you really want a quarterback that is a dual threat. That is partially also why they run the flex mode offense. Hand off to Christian again, and he will be stopped. And he will
Dante Hendricks, the ball carrier.
get about a
Picked
yard.
up on the play by Austin Brown.
And Austin Brown has made his presence felt, already his second tackle.
9 yards to go, second and down.
And so now this first,
It'll be
the
2nd and
second
9 for
drive for the
Huntington.
Highlanders is much like the first one, as they have not taken a while to scale the field. Here he is again as he will hand off to the ball carrier. And that is near first down yardage.
Gonna
About
bring
9,
it close
10
to the 23-yard line.
and that will make it
Dante
third down and
Hendricks, the ball
1.
carrier.
Dante Hendricks was the ball carrier gain of
Tackle was
8
made
there.
by Chandler Hamilton.
Chandler Hamilton, the dual threat for the Big Reds with the tackle.
It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Highlanders.
Here's 3rd down and 1 as they are scraping the edge of the red zone here. Man in motion. They will hand off, and he will indeed get it.
Peyton Christian, the ball
Hayden
carrier.
Christian will get around a yard, 2 yards rather, and move the sticks.
Austin Alator made the stop for Parkersburg.
And Austin Alatori makes the stop.
For Parkersburg Big Reds.
Ball's been marked at the Big
Austin
Red
Alatori,
21-yard
he's
line.
yet
It'll be
another
1st and
coach.
10.
Or, I'm sorry, yet another captain.
He is, and really if you can get your captains to play with such intensity that it fires up your entire defense, that is such a treat to have for your defense. And now the 21-yard line, another handoff, and this one looks like it's Christian, and he is backed up, and he will probably make it back to the line of scrimmage. And that was actually Brandon Morrison on the run. And an update from the South Musselman game. If you'll recall, last year Musselman got the best of the Patriots, and they are leading the South Patriots 20-14 in the second quarter.
2nd and 10.
And we will keep
for
you
Huntington.
posted on that game. And Shaver will keep it. He'll throw, and the reception will get them a goal to go.
Pass is complete to Peyton
Opportunities.
Christian.
And Peyton Christian,
Tackle was
it's always
made
such
by Cameron
a
McCoy.
privilege to have a dual threat receiving and running. And so multiple
Ball's
substitutions
being
coming
marked
on
inside
for
the Big Red 10,
both the
down
Big
near
Reds
8.
and
It'll be
Highlanders.
1st and goal for Huntington.
And so the Big Reds need to stop the bleeding here and avoid a score of 4:12 to go in this opening quarter. There's the pitch. He will try to advance the ball, and he
Brandon
will.
Morrison, the ball carrier.
And it will be 2nd down and goal at the 3-yard line as Morrison will.
Austin Brown and Austin
the picks
Alator
again.
made the stop for Parkersburg.
Brown and Alatori will make the stop. Under 4 to go here.
It'll be 2nd and goal from the 3.
As I said
It's
before,
going to be 2nd and goal for the play.
and here they are lined up in that all too familiar formation. The handoff will
Dante Hendricks, the ball carrier.
stretch it out to the 1-yard line, and Dante Hendricks is just that short. And Kenzie, what do you think of Parkersburg's chances if they get a goal line stop and force a field goal?
I'm really not sure what they've shown so far. It's not looking that good, but it's something that maybe
they need to improve on, or really improve on now. And a flag on the play, and it looks like a false start. And they already had one before.
Dead ball. False start.
And it is a false start again. A 5-yard penalty, and it is 3rd down now at the 6-yard line. And if there was ever a time to stop this grand offense of Huntington's, it is now. It's now 3rd down and goal at the 6-yard line. 3 minutes remaining in the quarter.
I'd say the Big Reds got just a little bit lucky on that one.
Yes, they certainly got a break, and now it is time to take advantage of that break. Here they go in the flex bone, man in motion. The ball is fumbled, and the quarterback is taken down. And so now it will be 4th and goal, and we will see the field goal unit come out. A loss of 3 on the miscommunication.
Austin Alatar led the charge for the Big Reds.
And that is just heads-up football whenever you can take advantage of a quarterback's miscues. And another whistle. And there will be a timeout for the Big Reds with 2:22 to go. 7-0 Highlanders over the Parkersburg Big Reds. And Kenzie, in this timeout, what do you think Don Reeves is telling his team right now?
I think he's probably telling them what they've done in practice. Just they really need to step up their defense. I know their offense is what they're really counting on this year, but it's not going to hurt to maybe give some words of encouragement or some good advice.
Just a reminder,
And
sports
so
fans,
really,
concession stands on both
known
sides
them
of the
for
field
their
are open for your
running
convenience.
attack, and we've
Folks are
seen
gonna
that
find
Shaver
assortment
can
of
find the
food,
open
candy,
man,
and drink items.
and it will be very crucial for the Highlanders to get off to a great start and go 14-0, as they might look to go in the air for this next play, but the field goal unit will come out, and not much of a shocker there. A short field goal here. The kick is up and good. 10-0 Highlanders. That drive started at the 35-yard line. And it is now 10-0, and that is a defensive victory for the Big Reds, as they were having their backs against the wall and only allowing a field goal. Now it's just time for the offense to respond.
Again, this is what Coach Reeves said, that this is going to be their strong point, so hopefully what they've shown in practice they can show out on the field. What do you think Coach Reeves' strategy really is? He was talking about that west-east rushing.
He was saying to eliminate Huntington's east-west rushing, and really the Big Reds had a lot of mistakes running the ball up the middle, and really that works if you're at a third and short type of situation. But really to stretch the field out, go to the dominant side of the field. And Tanner Rulli will kick off. It is another squib, and the ball is bobbled around.
It's going to be brought down at the 38-yard line.
And Tanner Rulli also doubles as a wide receiver. Maybe that is why we're seeing squib kicks early on, and that is giving the Big Reds good starting field position at the 38-yard line, rather. Aaron Roberts was rattled in his first series and was not able to get anything in this one.
Big Reds take formation.
And now the pistol set. A screen pass on the flats to the receiver, and he will try to go literally up the field. And Daniel Fox, the trusty
tackle, was made by Peyton
receiver.
Johnson.
And Peyton Johnson is on the stop. And so that is really Parkersburg's bread and butter, going to the screen passes or the runs. So that is really padding the stats for Aaron Roberts, and it's really good to get a quarterback going this early on. Now an offset I formation. There's a handoff, and Chandler Hamilton is driven back. It looked like about a loss of a yard. No, rather a 3-yard loss, and that will make it 3rd down and 10 at the original line of scrimmage.
For Huntington.
So now's the time where they really must throw it to the chains.
Loss of 3 yards.
Get a completion. Now Roberts in the shotgun, a spread formation here. Here's Roberts, he'll roll to his left, flag down. There's a throw, and that is dropped by Lance Hoyler.
Pass was intended for Lance Hoyler.
Might have been a holding call. The referees
on the play.
will come to a decision. And this could be a big break for the Big Reds, and it looks like there was a signal toward Huntington. This might just be a break. Let's see.
I have a legal man downfield. On the offense.
Oh, and an illegal man downfield. And you cannot afford to make those mistakes. Make sure that everyone is where they need to be on the field, and that won't happen again. But it will be 4th down.
For the Big Reds.
So now they're on the punt yet again. 2 men back deep for the Highlanders. Snap good, pick up. And
Kyle Foster punts for the
almost
Big
blocked.
Reds.
Kyle Foster punts, and it takes a big red bounce, but it's
Ball
in the
takes a
end
big red
zone, and
bounce.
that is a
Clippers in the
letdown,
end zone.
as
It'll be
the
first
ball
and
will
10 for
be
the
out
Highlanders.
at the
They begin play
20-yard
from their
line for the
20-yard
next
line.
drive. The Highlanders converted on their first 2 drives for a total of 10 points, as there are 41 seconds remaining in this quarter.
Big Reds start to talk things over before they take their stance.
And an interesting stat, the Big Reds have allowed an average of 14 points per every first quarter they have played this year. They're below that average here. Certainly a better start than what was anticipated. And another run. That'll gain about 2 yards. The clock is winding down. Peyton Christian, the ball carrier. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And this next play might just be the last one of the quarter.
Coach Reeves said that they really do need the win, as they are 2-1 right now. What do you think the loss is going to be if they get one?
That loss, they are ranked 14th in the state. Another handoff. They are ranked 14th in the state. And another loss would really get them outside of the top 16, which will not qualify them for the playoffs. And Reeves, in his 3rd year, has made the playoffs twice,
Lance Hoyler made the stop for the
taking
Big
over
Reds.
for Bernie Buttry. And he really had big shoes to fill.
And
So he's looking
that's the end of the first quarter of play
He's
with
looking
the
to
score,
continue that
Huntington
nice
10,
run of playoff appearances, and that will
Parkersburg
conclude
0.
the first quarter with the score. The Huntington Highlanders 10 and the Parkersburg Big Reds 0.
You see them down on the field. What do you think that Coach Reeves is telling them now, as they've already gotten through a first quarter and not had any success whatsoever?
Really, another stat being that the Big Reds have allowed most of their points in the second quarter, so while they get comfortable in the first quarter, they really cannot afford to let this get out of hand in the second quarter, because 3rd and 4th, they're playing catch-up most of the time. So really, just keep it safe, play it safe.
The Parkersburg High School football
Really
team and
goes,
staff
anything
would
goes
like
in
to take a
football.
minute to
There's always a
recognize
chance that they
Ron
can maybe
Walker
come back
at
or
this
change
time.
it around. And
Ron
hopefully in
was
the
in
second
charge of the
quarter
sideline
that we'll see
communications
that.
for the Big Reds for over 25 years. He passed away this year and will be sorely missed.
And so now, picking up where the first quarter left off, it'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Highlanders at the 28 as they switch sides, and a big hole. And
Number
wow,
7.
that was Shaver on the run.
Chandler Hamilton made the stop for the Big Reds.
Chandler Hamilton made the stop for the Big Reds at the 49-yard line.
And an official's timeout, and it looks like Santer might be hurt, as it looked like he was holding his wrist.
That's another injury for him.
And that is not good. And as you mentioned before, Chandler Hamilton making the touchdown-saving tackle. What a blessing it is for them to have him back there patrolling the offense. Shaver will run again, and he will get another first down.
Bring it to the 35-yard line.
Mark Shaver, the ball
Brought down by
carrier.
Ethan Bussey.
Stop was made by Ethan Bussey.
And
Be a
so
first
another
down for
first
Huntington.
down, and Peyton
To advance the ball to the Big Red 36-yard
Christian
line.
has really had a page of his playbook taken out and used by the quarterback Shaver. And so that is a very big advantage of the flexbone offense. Fakes the handoff.
It's sort of pushed back a little bit. It brings it back to the
Austin Allen
36-yard line
led the
now.
charge for the Big Reds.
And so now after that loss,
It's going to bring it to 2nd and down.
and it looks like he got to the line of scrimmage and he did not lose anything. 2nd down at the 36, and they are already flipping the field as they started at 32 to start this quarter, and already a minute in, They have totally dominated this in terms of yards, and a nice stop.
Lamar Thompson, the ball carrier.
It's going to remain at that 36
was made by Cameron McCoy.
Now it's going to be 3rd and down.
And Cameron McCoy
It'll be 3rd
is
and
a
10
big
for Huntington.
piece of that puzzle for the defense. One of the big players there. He makes a stop, and it will be 3rd down and 10 on the 36. And from here it will be about a 49-yard field goal. And here are the Highlanders, man in motion. Shaver will keep it and throw. That will be incomplete.
Mark Shaver's pass is incomplete.
Not really sure who he was passing to. It went straight to one of the big
first down
reds
for Huntington.
about the
And it will be 4th down. It will be 4th down. This quarter has been all full of Huntington. And it will be a great testament to the ever-improving defense.
Looks like Huntington might meet that status quo they did last year, as they beat the Big Reds twice last year. This might be a 3rd time.
They are going for it on 4th down, opting not to punt or go for the field goal. And they will get the 1st down, and wow, that is gutsy play calling at its finest.
I think when you're a team this good, you really can afford to make those gutsy calls, especially when we're still at 10-0.
And Hendricks, also one of those running superstars for the Highlanders, with a nice 14-yard reception.
Be a 1st down.
First down at the 22. And it looks like Shaver will keep it, and he will indeed.
Mark Shaver on the quarterback keeper.
Brings that to that 14-yard line. It's going to be.
It's going to be
still
second
at
down
second
and
and down.
2nd down and 4 rather at the 15, and another big red down. And I cannot quite tell who that is.
Austin Brown made the stop for the Big Reds.
It's number 19.
Let's see. Yes, it is. I'm not sure, and there will be an official's timeout as he is in pain.
That's still 2. You see Matt Sanders still on the sidelines. It looks like he's pretty hurt. He wasn't even supposed to play this game, but as a captain, I think he wanted to step it up, and it just might have been a little bit too soon.
And so that is not number 19, that is number 49, Tyler Drake. And he is another one of those seniors that you definitely do not want to lose, as he is walking off the field with the help of coaches.
Looks like he's favoring that left leg.
And he is, as he is not walking on it. He will go out to the table, and play will resume with 9:28 to go. It will resume with a 2nd down and 4 at the 15, and the clock is rolling. Here's the 2nd down and 4, and a pitch. Handoff goes end to end.
He is brought down at the 4-yard line.
And that stop was by
Thompson,
Chase
the ball carrier.
Shank.
Tackle was made by Chase Shank.
1st and goal at the 6. And so that is really what Coach Reeves harped on, eliminating that east-west running attack. And the offensive line really knew how to stretch out, keep the defenders at bay, and it worked just like magic. And it's 1st and goal at the 6. And now another handoff. He was going to initially be stopped, but it is a touchdown.
Hendricks, the ball
And
carrier,
Hendricks
puts it in for a Highlander
gets in
touchdown.
for another Highlander touchdown, and it's now 16-0 pending the extra point. And this is certainly not what the Big Reds wanted to see here early. And with 9:05 to go, that has got to be deflating.
The defense is just, it's not on point this time. We asked one of the coaches from the Highlanders team, we said the PHS was going to be more difficult than the 3 they've played before, but really, with what PHS is playing, it just looks like it's going to be another easy victory for.
Really, we cannot generalize that just yet. Still an entire 9:05 to go in the second and an entire second half. But yes, if things continue to go the way they are, it will be another easy victory. If you play some easy teams, okay, imagine you're the coach of the Highlanders and you've had some easy warm-up games and you come into Stadium Field and you know the Big Reds backstory, 2-1 on the year, multiple injuries. Really, you take what you learned from those games, and what do you get? You get a 17-0 lead with 9:05 to go.
You're absolutely right, Josh, and it's never good for the Big Reds if they want to keep it on their own turf. We are at home, and you never want to lose then, especially when to a team that's already beat you twice. The Big Reds, their motivation will be more redemption than anything.
And so an actual kick here, taken at the 4-yard line. Hamilton will try to stretch it out as he gets to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and he is pushed out of bounds at about the 42-yard line.
Across the 35 for the Big Reds.
That was just an amazing play by Chandler Hamilton. That's really what the Big Reds were looking for. So hopefully this can be the turnaround in the game that they've been looking for.
And that play is coming back, a holding call. That is absolutely crushing, a 10-yard penalty, bringing that run back. Wow. I cannot believe this. Anything that can go right for the Big Reds will not. And the run will be marked all the way back. All the way back. At about the 9-yard line. 8-yard line where
the Big Reds beginning at their 8-yard line.
So now an even larger field to cover here. And so the I formation. Roberts will hand off to Lindemoog. Lindemoog will try to get the outside. He reverses his field, and
it's fumbled and recovered by the Highlanders.
And the first turnover of the game is not a good one.
It
brings the ball at the 6-yard line for the Highlanders.
First and goal.
And so every turnover is a costly one, especially the first one of the game. And that could not come at a worse time. And now a very short field for the Highlanders.
The Big Reds just can't seem to catch a break. Really, their offense and their defense is just not on point tonight.
And they'll hand the ball off. And the ball carrier is stopped up.
Still unable to be brought down, number 11.
Hayden Christian, the ball carrier.
Hayden Christian.
Who's met at the line by a host of Big Red tacklers.
And that Big Red defense swarms around the ball carrier, and they are finally getting it together, but this may be too late as that was a gain of 4. 2nd down and goal at the 2. And spoiler alert, I think I see another run, and they will, and it is another Highlander touchdown. Hayden Christian, another score, and this one is getting out of hand early. 8:08 to go, 23-0 with the extra point on the way. I'm Josh Hughes alongside Kenzie Steed here at Stadium Field, and this crowd is not very jolted here. Extra point on the way, and it is blocked. The score will remain 23-0. And wow, a heads-up play by the Big Reds. And it looked like Chase Shank got in there and stopped the PAT. So 6 points on that drive, 8:08 to go. And so that drive only 6 yards long, 2 plays. And so there you have it, 23-0 Highlanders.
You see Coach Reeves out on the field with his players. I don't think he could really be too happy. He seems pretty upset, and in his point of view, I mean, I would be too. Really, he's been a good coach. He's gone to the championship twice so far, and this year it's just not that great.
And so this being his 3rd year at the helm. Really a disappointing start to the season as a loss would drop them down to a 500 record. The Highlanders ranked 4th coming in. And such a diverse pool of talent here for Class AAA ball. As a team 4-0 is ranked, 3-0 rather, is ranked 4th. The ball is taken at the 10-yard line by Hamilton. He'll get to about the 33-yard line.
Kickoff is returned by Chandler Hamilton.
8 minutes to go. Aaron Roberts will go back on the field for another Big Red drive, and really scoring a couple times before the half is over would be key for the Big Reds. What do you think the Big Reds need to do to ensure that?
I think they need to work on both offense and defense. They just, with Chandler Hamilton, he's been doing great. He's made that 10-yard run, and unfortunately it was pushed back, but he tried to move it up again, bringing it to the 1st and down. So with only 10 to go for the second one, hopefully he can do it again.
So the lone back formation, ball goes to Hamilton. Hamilton to the outside, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, and he has brought down a shoestring tackle. And a large run marked down at about the 25-yard line. An incredible run by Chandler Hamilton, and that will definitely move the 6 to the 25-yard line, a first down for the Big Reds.
That's exactly what the Big Reds needed, a turnaround in this game.
It'll be a first down for the Big Reds. The ball resting at the Huntington 25-yard line.
And so now the 25. They really needed that. Hamilton still in the game in the lone back set. Here's Roberts. There will be a man in motion. Flag down, it looks like it might be a false start. And it is second penalty of the game for the Big Reds. Certainly not as big as the...
It's not as big as the last time, and after Chandler's run, it's definitely not going to be that big of a setback to the Big Reds. And hopefully Chandler can regain those yards that were lost.
And so now at the 30-yard line, first down and 15. They have to cover half of the field to get the first down. Here's Roberts. He'll hand off to Hamilton. Hamilton is met at the 30, and there's no gain.
It's going to be second down, 15 to go. Still with 7:37 left in the quarter.
Tackle was made by Marcus Eller.
And Marcus Eller, the defensive leader for the Highlanders, leading the Highlanders in terms of tackles, will make his presence felt there. They tackled the line of scrimmage. And here they are in the pistol set. Roberts will take the ball. Lindemood in the game. He'll pass downfield, a throw that is deflected. And that is
another turnover.
That is incomplete, rather.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it will make it third down and 15.
Aaron Roberts' pass is incomplete. It was intended for Dylan Thomas.
And Dylan Thomas was targeted for the first time in this contest. And it looked like Roberts had a wide open field, but that is great defense by the Highlanders to really get their big guys in there and stop the ball. And here they are on this third down. Shotgun formation for Roberts in the offense. Lindemood by his side. He will roll out to his left, fire, and find his man flagged down in the secondary. And so this could be coming back. Dylan Thomas, if this holds up, made a great catch at about the 14-yard line, but let's see what the penalty is.
There's a flag on the play.
And that looks like it will be coming back. And so that is not what the Big Reds needed either. As they originally pointed to the Big Reds. And illegal participation for the Highlanders. And that is declined. First down for the Big Reds. And I'm not quite sure what in the world happen there, but the Big Reds will take it. And after the Thomas reception, it will be first down at the 19-yard line, rather. And a timeout, Huntington. Although he pointed the wrong way when he called the timeout. And so that's rather odd, but mistakes happen, and I made another mistake when I said it was at the 19-yard line when it was at the 14-yard line when I had it right the first time. The 16-yard reception by Dylan Thomas, putting the Big Reds in business as they are in the red zone for the first time today.
Looks like this might be what the Big Reds are needing. Thought that play was going to be called on the Big Reds, but I guess not. And hopefully this is what they're going to. This is exactly what they need to move the ball up and finally get some points on the board.
And so certainly if they can score within the next minute or less, they might have a chance to get the ball back, pending a nice defensive drive and score again. But certainly a big hole needs to be dug out of. And play will resume. So after that timeout, 2 timeouts remaining for both teams. Roberts will take the ball. He scans the field and he finds Hamilton. Hamilton will be just blasted at about the 14-yard line. And ouch, that looked like it hurt, but it will be a 5-yard gain.
It's going to bring it down. 2nd and 9 to go.
It's a gain of 1 yard on the play.
And a gain of 1 yard.
For the Big Reds.
2nd down and 9. Here they go, that spread offense again. Hamilton by Roberts' side. And a timeout, Big Reds. 1 timeout remaining, and that is certainly not what they wanted to have. So 6:09 remaining. I am Josh Hughes alongside Kenzie Steed. And so coming out of this timeout with really great field position, 2nd and 9 at 13. What do you think the Big Reds should do?
Again, I really think they just need to step up their defense and their offense. It's not even just that, they're getting killed with penalties. They've had a turnover, they've had back of 5 yards, and that other yard with when Chandler Hamilton rushed the ball up 10 yards, they really need to work on everything. This game really isn't just, it's not the Big Reds game.
And so what you're saying is to cut down on mistakes offensively, and that will lead to better defense.
Yeah.
And so now 2nd down and 9. This play will resume in a second. And here we go. From the 13. Roberts with 2 backs by his side, man in motion. And that ball is handed off to Chandler Hamilton. He will reverse his field. And he will, wow, he should have taken a tackle when it was there. And just a disastrous run.
He's going to be pushed back a little bit. It's going to be 3rd down with 11 to go, and ball's on the 15.
So loss of 2 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 11.
And so really there was nothing Chandler could do as the holes were sealed. And he tries bouncing it up into the next available lane. Nothing there. That is great textbook defense by the Highlanders. 3rd down and 11. 5.5 to go in this first half from Stadium Field. Offset I formation for the Big Reds. Roberts will look, he'll fire. That is, ooh, a nasty hit delivered to the receiver. And he is slow to get up. Wow. And it looked like the man that delivered the hit is also down. Wow. That was a collision and a half.
That definitely was. This is going to be the 3rd injury for the Big Reds just this half, too, and it's going to be the 1st for the Highlanders.
Wow. That was just unbelievable. And so both players have to be going off the field. And so now it will now be 4th down 11 after the incompletion.
It's going to be Lance Hoyler, and I'm not sure who the other one was on the Highlanders, but hopefully they can make a recovery.
And so that was just great, a great read by the corner. And that's just what happens in the game of football. Injuries happen whether you want them or not. And so Cody Roney is on for the field goal, trying to cut this down to a 20-point contest. Kick is up and no good. And no good off the upright and no good. And so the Big Reds come up empty on that drive.
Huntington 23, Big Red 0.
And now with that, the score will remain 23-0. The Highlanders in front end. Now the stadium has gone awry as they're still talking about that near make for Cody Roney. And not too often do you see him miss one like that.
You're absolutely right. It was just almost maybe a few more inches over it, just barely tipped it.
And it was tailing to the left, and it looked like he would have missed it anyway, but not by much. The Highlanders will take over at the 20-yard line. And the ball carrier will get up to about the 22.
It's going to bring it to 2nd down with 8 to go.
So now there's still time for the Big Reds to score something here if they get a nice stop here. Still in that flex mode offense.
It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Highlanders.
And so quarterback will roll out of the pocket. He is rushed, and that is behind the intended receiver, incomplete.
Pass is intended for Jared Martin. It's
And
incomplete.
For Jared Barton.
Jared Martin
Chase Shank is on the coverage for the Big Reds.
will be the intended receiver.
It'll be 3rd and 8.
3rd down and 8 as Mark Schaefer will try to dig his Highlanders out of his 8-yard hole. So here's Schaefer as he will shortly receive the snap. Man in motion, Schaefer will look, and that is almost intercepted by Chandler Hamilton, and you have got to catch that. Goes right out of his hands.
Chandler Hamilton's really been the only one who's been doing outstanding this game. He's had a couple of rushes and then almost that touchdown.
And so that is just heartbreaking, as the Big Reds could have saved themselves a lot of trouble.
25, Dylan Thomas, number 1, Daniel Fox.
Thomas and Fox will be back deep to return the kick from Stevens. Bobbled snap. And it takes a big Highlanders bounce, and I'm not sure why the Big Reds let that roll, as it will just be a disaster. A big punt with 4:06 to go. And now at the 6-yard line, and that's a big mistake by Thomas.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the goal. And you're right, I didn't see why the Big Reds let that roll. I'm sure it was almost right to them.
And Fox could have served as a blocker for the upcoming Highlander, and who knows what would have happened there, but it is certainly better than 94 yards to go with 4:06 left in the half. Still nothing on the board for the Big Reds. Here's Thomas in the pistol set. He'll take it, standing in his end zone, he'll sling it. And the receiver's out of bounds.
Just number 25, Dylan Thomas, but he was just pushed out of bounds just at the...
Just at about the...
Knocked out of bound by Anthony Jones.
At about the 16, 17-yard line.
Knocked out by Anthony Jones.
Maybe.
Illegal formation.
Oh, and an illegal formation for the offense. And so that is why there was a stoppage in play and a stoppage on the game clock. And so that is not what they wanted to happen. Half the distance to the goal, make it 1st and 13 at the 3. And so now I would imagine they would have gone for a shotgun formation, but they will go with an I formation and look for the Highlanders to blitz. And Roberts will have a snap, hand it off, and a nice run, and Lindemood is brought down. That potentially was a touchdown saving tackle.
He's brought down at the 15. It's going to be second down with 13 to go.
And they've changed the spot of the ball. Now it will be at the 17, a 14-yard gain. That is just enough to move the chains.
Tackle was made by Clark Wilson.
Clark Wilson will get in there again.
Down for Parkersburg. They move the ball to their 17-yard line.
So now at the 17 as they still have a considerable amount to go. Offset eye for Roberts. Here's another handoff to Adam Lindemood. And that'll make it to about the 20-yard line. Second down and 7. So really we're seeing a nice rotation of both Chandler Hamilton and Adam Lindemood.
Tackle was made by Nigel Cabell.
And Nigel Cabell will be in there for the stop.
Brings up 2nd and 7 for the Big Reds.
So now second down and 7. Under 3 minutes to go. Still 23-0 in favor of the Highlanders. Pistol set. Roberts will take the snap. Look around, he is rushed out of the pocket. He will have to throw on the run, and he will. And that is way too high for Dylan Thomas.
Seems like Aaron Roberts is keeping up with his consistency as he's just missing those passes. And to keep you updated for your South game at Muslim, it's 26-14 at the halftime.
And so that is a mechanical error for Aaron Roberts, as you really cannot expect for him to be completely perfect just yet, making his 4th start for the Big Reds. But you must get the ball in the right spot. Roberts will be ushered out of the pocket again. He'll take off and get just clobbered, and the ball's loose, and the Highlanders recover again. And that is the 2nd turnover, and there's a Big Red slow to get up, and that is Roberts, and he finally will. And so the Highlanders will take over at the 23-yard line.
It's going to bring it to 1st and 10 with 2:27 left in the ball game. Do you think the Highlanders are going to score again?
So, I mean, yes, like you said, with 2:27 to go in the half. With 23 yards, we've seen them work with long fields and short fields. Honestly, I do look for them to score again. Man in motion. Shaver will look and find his man. Oh, and it is dropped. And so, yes, I mean, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown, I do look for them to score again. But if you're the Big Reds, you really must be thinking this is do or die right now to stop the offensive attack.
That was good on Dylan Thomas's part. If that pass was maybe just, if it was complete, who knows what could happen with the Highlanders. They're pretty good on their defense and offense, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, there'll be more points for them.
And so now the clock is ticked forward to 2:18 remaining. And so now play will resume. Second down and 10 at the 23-yard line for Mark Shaver and his Highlanders. He will roll to his left, fire, and that is incomplete.
It's going to bring it to 3rd and down.
It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Highlanders.
And it looked like Chandler Hamilton got away with a shove there in the end zone, knocking his receiver down to the turf, but it was away from the ball, and maybe the refs were not looking quite his direction, but it will be 3rd down and 10.
Ball still on the 23-yard line.
Man in motion again. Shaver looks in the pocket, will fire, and that is incomplete. And 2:03 remaining, 4th down coming up. And the Highlanders passed on a 49-yard field goal and went for it on that same drive, on the drive a couple drives ago, rather.
Chandler Hamilton's going to stop the ball yet again.
And so they will, looks like they are going for it again. This would be a fairly manageable field goal, but they will go for it. Here they go on a 4th and 10. Shaver being rushed. He will go at the 20-15, 10, 5-yard line. An 18-yard gain.
This is going to be their second play where they had 4th and 10 to go, and then they just made that gutsy move and ended up making another
first down on the 4th down conversion. And in case you're wondering, Zach Stevens is the field goal kicker for the Highlanders. He is a junior, but we have not seen him kicking some field goals. But first down, I formation. There's a handoff and another touchdown for the Highlanders.
It's going to bring them to 29-0. That's not good for the Big Reds, seeing as this is only the first half.
And so Dante Hendricks in there for, I believe, his second score in the game. And wow, if you're looking for a player of the game for the Highlanders, it is tough to point one out, as the ground game has been elite, as it always has been. Kick is up and good, 30-0 Highlanders. That drive started with about 4 minutes to go, and with 1:32 to go in the first half from Stadium Field, it is 30-0 Highlanders over the Big Reds.
I think with what you're saying with the players, you can't really pinpoint one out. It's really, they just have a good team all together. We've seen a lot from
Dante Hendricks.
And Christian.
Peyton Christian.
Yes. But all together, they still really are a good team.
They really are. They are the complete package when it comes to a textbook AAA football team.
You're absolutely right. They have good offense, good defense. They're quick with recoveries and not too many fumbles on the ball.
And there have been no turnovers. A clean game for the Highlanders, if you're not counting a couple of our penalties in the early going. And with hardly any time to work with, I don't see any chance of the Big Reds having a big opportunity unless a big play happens. A scoop kick, and that will be fielded at the 30-yard line. And so the Big Reds are coming out for another series with under a minute and a half to go in the half. Now 29-yard line.
Starting at their 29-yard line.
And here's Roberts coming out. And it looks like in the pistol setting in, that spread formation. Here he is, he backs up, he's being rushed out of the pocket. He'll have to get it off, and he will get it to Adam Lindemood, and that will probably move the chains.
It's going to bring him down at the 39-yard line, bringing it to 2nd and 10.
Made the initial hit for Huntington.
And they are not moving the chains here, not sure. Not sure why, as it will be 2nd down and inches to go. Here's Roberts again. On the 2nd and 1, he is rushed out of the pocket. He will get it to Lindemood again, and Lindemood will be stopped.
Right at the 39 yet again.
That will move the chains. And so it looked like if he just went head on and not across the field, he would have gained more. And so with 44 seconds and counting, the Big Reds really must hurry if they want something to go here. 61 yards to go for 6. Here's Roberts in the gun. He looks. He's being rushed out of the pocket. He airs it out long for Fox.
And again, it's that consistency with the passes. It's no good. It was a little bit short to the right this time.
I would not necessarily blame that on the quarterback. Daniel Fox really cut his lane too short. Honestly, you couldn't blame the quarterback as he went for it, as he went for the sideline. Really not a smart move.
Yeah.
And so with that, it would be 2nd down and 10 at the 39 with 26 seconds to go. And so really, I think what we're both trying to say is some miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. And so 2nd down, Roberts will try to air it out, but he will not as he is taken down. That is not what you want. And timeout is called with 18 seconds to go. And I'm not quite sure why he just didn't get the ball off. I mean, even if it's incomplete, you wouldn't have to use one of your timeouts and save yourself the loss. Actually, no, he gained a yard.
It's going to bring it to 3rd and down with 9 yards to go. And you're right, the Parkersburg Big Reds, they do take their last time out of the half.
So if you're wondering, the Highlanders will take those 2 timeouts of theirs to the locker room, as they've been very efficient with the clock and controlling the ball. And this has been the story of the season for the Parkersburg Big Reds. They've been inefficient when it comes to
The Big Red Band
stats.
Car Show will be taking place right here at Parkersburg High School Horseshoe. Registration begins at 9 a.m. and the show continues until 3 p.m.
The ball will be at the 40-yard line, probably on the other side of the 40, and it will be with 18 seconds to go. And so Roberts in the pistol. He'll look. He'll fire it out to Fox, and Fox will be cut down at the 42-yard line. And that looks like it will be the end of the half. And it
Johnson made the stop.
will not be yet, and it will. And unfortunately for the Big Reds, they do not get the playoff in time, and that is the end of one half of football. The score, the visiting Highlanders of Huntington High School 30 and the Parkersburg Big Reds 0. And so the captains will shake at midfield. And we will get this 2nd half underway soon. And I'm not quite sure, but it looks like Kenzie Steed might be taking an absence for the start of this half. So for now, it is just you and I, Andrea.
Yeah.
And hopefully things can be a whole lot better for the Big Reds. And so the Big Reds won the toss in the first half and elected to defer.
So they will be coming out.
And they will receive the ball. And so we've seen a lot of squib kicks, but maybe we might just see that again as it has worked, and it's kept Chandler Hamilton away from the ball. Here's the kick to start the 2nd half.
Deep for the Big Reds, Chandler Hamilton.
We are off.
Fox.
And a short kick, and that will go out of bounds, and a legal procedure
Kickoff
penalty.
goes out of
We'll
bounds.
set them up at the 40. I think.
And it indeed will.
Good ball. Legal procedure on the kicking team.
And so now that is certainly not what you want.
35.
And they will take the ball at the 35-yard line. Keep in mind, this is not collegiate football. That was my mistake, and they will take over at the 35. That is about where they have started most of the time after a Huntington score. So really not a lot of damage done there by the penalty. And so now Roberts coming out in the pistol set. Man in motion. He'll hand off to Adam Lindemood, and he will be stuffed by a host of tacklers. And so with that,
Adam Lindeman's
be a
ball
second
carrier.
down. And so there was no progress made.
Charge was led by Scott Castile. There's no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And so second down and 10 at the 35. As Roberts will come out in that same set. He'll take the snap kind of low. He'll look around in the pocket.
Goes
He'll
long.
scramble. And Fox was out deep, and they are wanting a flag, and there's no flag for pass interference.
Fox is incomplete.
And it looked like good coverage, but there might have been a little bit of shoving.
The winner of tonight's 50-50 drawing was Sharon Armour. And
So
tonight's
now,
50-50
after
winner,
that,
Sharon Armour.
it will now be third down.
It'll be third
Big Reds
and
will
10
line
for
up in the
Parkersburg.
shotgun position formation.
Man in motion. They will get it to him. That is Hamilton. Hamilton will try to cut upfield, and he will not get anywhere.
Ball carrier.
A disappointing first series to start the half. And so a 3 and out to begin for the Big Reds.
Kyle Foster comes on to punt for the Big Reds.
And Kyle Foster will be summoned to punt yet again. And all too familiar scene for the
Izzy
Big
Jones
Reds.
and Falk Wilson are deep for Huntington.
Jones and Wilson back deep for the Highlanders.
Decent
That'll be
punt.
Will be returned at the 20. He gets out to the 27, 28,
For a decent yard
about
gain.
the 30 yard line, 29 yard line. A gain of 9 yards. And the Highlanders will set up shop right there.
Preston DeBerry and Keenan
And so
Mills make
Andrea,
the stop for the Big
the
Reds.
Highlanders have scored
It'll be
on
Highlanders ball, first and
just
10,
about every
starting
drive
at
they've
their
had.
39
What has
yard
been
line.
working for them?
Ground and pound. What Flexbone offense, rushing, just keeping the ball on the ground.
And so now they are going into a spread formation. Shaver in the shotgun. The man in motion will take it.
End around for it.
And he is finally
Dante Hendricks, the
Down
ball
at the
carrier.
31.
down, and
Tackle was
Hendricks
made by
will
Austin Alator.
run the ball. Alatorre gets him down. It'll be second down and 3 after a 7-yard
Picking up 7
gain.
yards, making it 2nd and 3.
And so now they are in that shotgun again. Here's Mark Shaver. Hendricks was in motion again. They will keep it.
Quarterback keeper up the middle.
And so that will gain enough to move the sticks again at the 43-yard line.
Quarterback keeper.
And already we're seeing Huntington pick up right where they left off. And so here they go, that spread offense again. Another man in motion. He'll take the ball and get out to about the 45-yard line.
Lamar Thompson, the ball carrier.
And Thompson is
Charge
the
was
ball
led by
carrier.
Adam Lindemann.
Brought down by Adam Lindemann.
It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Highlanders.
And it is second down and 8 with about 9 minutes remaining in this start of the second half. Here they are in that all too familiar flex mode. They will keep the ball, and Shaver will go across midfield all the way down to the 41. And that will certainly be enough to move the chains
Mark
again.
Shaver on the quarterback keeper. Stop was made by Dylan Thomas. It'll be a first down for the Highlanders. Ball's resting.
So
at
now
the
they've really
Big
kept the
Reds
Big Reds on
31-yard
their
line.
feet when it's come to game pace and really setting a tone. And we're seeing more of that in the second half. Shaver will keep the ball again and move the
Shaver,
pile
the
of Big
quarterback
Reds
keeper.
to about the 31.5-yard line. 32, and that will make it 2nd down and
Dylan
1.
Thomas and Travis Doss made the stop for Parkersburg.
They have no problem moving the ball on this drive.
And so they started at about the 29-yard line, and they have already traveled half that distance already.
They're in the shotgun again.
Shaver will keep. He's
Rolls
being
out.
chased. Lindemood was on his heels, and that is incomplete.
Pass attempt
Overthrown.
is incomplete and chased out of the pocket by Adam Lindemood.
And Lindemood made a nice play as Chandler Hamilton was also there in the secondary trying to get to the ball.
It'll be 3rd and 1
And it is
for
now
Huntington.
3rd down and short for Huntington at the 32. We are already seeing this game pick up right where it left off, but here we go, 3rd down and 1, man in motion. They will hand off, and it looks like another score
Touch.
is not in the cards.
Looks like he was brought down on the 1-yard line.
And Andrea, I would call that a false start by you.
Yes.
Yes. But it is close, as it will be 1st and goal at the 1. And so really, the Highlanders have had no trouble pushing the ball out wide, and I look for them to do that as the Big Reds spread out in their defense. But everyone is bunched in tight on the line. They will try to move the pile, and it will be a touchdown. Mark Shaver will score his first touchdown of the game, and it will be 36-0, pending the extra point. And so now coming on for the extra point again. This has been an all too familiar sight.
And it looks like Big Reds need to change their offense and defense up. It is not working at all.
And the PAT is good. And so that drive takes about 3 minutes. And so with 7:14 to go in the 3rd quarter, it is now 37-0 in favor of the Highlanders. And so, Andrea, on that drive, the Parkersburg defense was not able to really do anything.
No.
Just really a mismatch night on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. But even though this game might be out of reach, the Big Reds can still get some valuable playing time and learning experience if they were able to score here. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes. It's too early to say for certain, but I say they just need to put in. But I just say that they need to put in their 2nd string. Last time they were getting blown out like this, they got injured.
And so, definitely, that is a very good point that you do not want to risk in it. Another injury. Fox and Hamilton back deep, and it is another squib kick. And that is, off the hands, and that is going to be
Recovered by Huntington?
recovered by the Highlanders. Wow. That is like a long onside kick rather than a squib kick. And it finally seems to work out for the Highlanders as they have had a couple of close calls before. But that is unfortunate. Andrew Nichols was the Big Red who had his hand on the ball. And really the key to a squib kick is making sure it does not go up in the air for a long amount of time. And that is just unfortunate as the Highlanders will set up shop at the 22-yard line. Man in motion. Shaver will throw in the middle, and that is almost intercepted again by Chandler Hamilton as that ball was thrown behind the intended receiver.
They start out this drive well in field goal range if they do not get turned over.
So that's a very good point, as that would make it 40-0. The score now is 37-0, and really you've got to think that this is a quality win for a Huntington team that has not yet seen a challenge from any opponents. And looks like Shaver Ooh, Shaver is just thrown down by Adam Lindemood. But after about
Mark Shaver,
I
the
want to
ball
say about a
taken down on the
2-yard
play by
gain.
Adam Lindemood.
Oh, it is a 4-yard gain down to the 18, 3rd down and 10.
It's a gain of 3 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Highlanders.
And so, Andrea, don't you find it ironic that the Big Reds have had both their victories come on the road?
Yes, they seem to do better on away games, which is strange considering they've got such
And
a good crowd.
wow, Shaver lofts it up. The play action pass works beautifully, and that is just wonderful. Down at the 2-yard line, he lofts it up on his back foot and makes an incredible throw and an incredible reception to Hendricks for the first and goal of the 2. And so coming up on 6 minutes to go, they are in prime position again. Here they go, and it is another.
Huntington touchdown. This time.
And now with 5:57 to go, it is now 44-0.
43-0, pending the point after attempt.
And so if you'll remember, the botched special teams coverage costed the Big Reds a drive. That drive was 22 yards in a matter of only 5 or 6 plays.
With just under 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
And so now the score is 44-0.
Big Red 0.
And so now looking at the scoreboard here and looking at really the huddle that they're in and the mannerisms of Coach Reeves, what do you think he's thinking right now?
Registration time begins at 9 o'clock.
I don't know, just trying to get his team fired back up, maybe.
Big Red Band and Red Wings will perform at 1:30.
And I remember he said a win for this team would be big, and he said that it was odd that all of his wins came on the road.
Yeah, they've got such a good crowd here.
And do you remember what he said whenever we asked him about stats, about how he was outnumbered?
Parkersburg High School Stadium Committee would like to thank our sponsors.
Yes, he wanted to get on the board early.
The signs
And this has not
throughout the stadium
been
complex.
the case.
And so now another kickoff, another squib kick, and they will be sure to keep this one
Yes.
away. Looks like Lindemood will stretch that out and be ushered out of bounds at the 30-yard line. 32-yard line, and so favorable field position for the Big Reds again. And so really this kicking style has been unorthodox for the Highlanders, but
Seems to be working.
yes, it has been working, as the Highlanders have already recovered one of their own kicks.
And have stopped the Big Reds on every single drive.
And so not quite sure what's going on. Huntington will take a timeout. It looked like they were confused with what the offense of the Big Reds was running. Wow, in the first half we saw some of the miscommunication by the Big Reds earlier, and now seems to be rubbing off on the away team. And so what do you expect the Big Reds to do here, being down in such a hole?
Honestly, I just put out my second string and let them finish out the game. There's nothing much to do here. They're down 44-0, and it's the second half.
And so I vividly remember from the Cabell Midland game that the second stringers were not on the field as the starting guys were still on.
And Daniel Fox got hurt in the end zone.
Yes, he had a whale of a game. He had 10 receptions after being injured. Great incompletion. A shovel pass to Chandler Hamilton, and he will break this out wide. 50,
50,
45, 40, 35, 31-yard line to the 30. And the shovel pass really worked there. And so some big results. They started at their own 32. They started at their own 29 and get to the other team's 30. So really nothing to sneeze at there. 51-yard reception. It'll be a first down. And now Roberts here in the shotgun again. Man in motion. Hamilton with the handoff. He was contained in the backfield, but gets about a yard, if that.
Chandler Hamilton, the ball carrier.
And so now they are finally in good enough position to really get something going. Do you expect the Big Reds to keep running, or should they pass the ball more?
Well, they're in scoring position. If they can get, well, I don't know, 10 yards, they could probably get a field goal out of this, and that would help.
And now Roberts
save the
will
blowout.
evade the pressure. Lindemood will drop the ball. I have a feeling that he felt like he was going to get drilled, but at the same time he should have caught that, and the crowd was not happy. And really there's nothing to be happy about, but we're still in the early stages of this season. And so there's still time for improvement.
For the Big Reds.
And with 4 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the third quarter, the score is 44-0 Huntington.
And so a fake draw. Roberts will have to get rid of the ball, and he will at the last second. Great catch. No.
Daniel Fox drops the ball.
And that would have been a great catch, as I noticed he tiptoed inbounds to keep the ball, but this will be about a 43-yard field goal attempt if they choose to go that way, but I would not think they would, considering they're down 44. And so they will stay on the field with 4.5 minutes remaining in the third. And so what do you expect them to do here, Andrea?
Well, they need to pass. They need to get down enough to get enough yardage for the first down. I apologize.
It's now a low snap. Roberts controls it. He'll throw, and that, oh my goodness! He drops the ball. Wow. And Lance Hoyler, that is not the first time he has dropped a ball earlier. Hits him right in the numbers. That is unreal. They had a first down lined up, and another costly turnover as this one comes on downs. As Mark Shaver and his powerful offense will come back out on the field.
31-yard line.
And he will be stuffed. And there will be a fumble on the play, and the Big Reds have recovered. And so you're wondering what all the hoopla was, but finally the ball bounces Parkersburg's way, and it will be first down at the 30.
Yes, that's the Big Reds' first turnover
That they've
received.
And so now with that, a short field to work with, 30 yards until Pater. Hand off to Hamilton as he will be just slammed back at the 30.
Maybe a gain of a yard, if that.
Tackle was made by Peyton Christian.
And Peyton Christian just gave Hamilton, he gave him a ride. That was, we have seen our fair share of collisions in this game, and what do you think of his rough play?
Well, I don't know, I guess they're just in over their head. Huntington's defense has stopped them on almost every play.
It's
Few
now
big plays, but not many.
Oh, Roberts was,
And
wow,
fumbled
Roberts
the
was
ball.
rolling out of the pocket. He got it to his receiver, and it looked like it was completed, and it was fumbled and recovered by the Highlanders.
Wow.
And they cannot capitalize on the turnover. That is just shocking. The 6-yard line is where the Highlanders will take over. Wow. Sometimes that's how it goes in Class AAA football. What do you think the Big Reds need to do now that they've had the air taken out of that drive?
Just try to keep them from scoring. Everything's been going wrong for the Big Reds. They start out something good, they can't finish the drive. Everything seems to be going wrong.
And so now 6-yard line is where the Highlanders will take over. A big handoff there, and the ball carrier will be bottled at the 9-yard line. Gain of 3 yards. And so we are already seeing fans file out of Stadium Field, surely disappointed.
Yet another big deficit
And
at
so
home.
this is not how you play playoff football, and certainly for the Big Reds, they must improve before that time. Luckily, it is still early for the Big Reds. Man in motion for the Highlanders. Shaver kept it, but it is recovered by the Big
Fumbled.
Reds. It looks like it was recovered by the Big Reds, and it will stay with the Highlanders. A lucky bounce there, and it will be 3rd down.
3 fumbles in like the last 3 minutes.
And so
Wow.
along with that, a big mass exodus of fans. And so it'll be 3rd down and 10 at the 8-yard line. It's now coming up on 2 minutes to go in the third. Another handoff, and I really don't have a problem with that.
Just trying to get him off the field. Running down the clock.
And so that will make it 4th down, and the punting unit will come on, I believe, for only the 2nd time. Yes, it is only the 2nd time. If you'll remember, the punt before netted 72 yards. But I do not believe that there will be that big of a roll there at this stage.
The other 2
And wow, that was close.
4th just went for it, so this is only their 2nd.
Takes a big red bounce, and it will be on Huntington's side of the field with 1:21 to go. And what has stood out to you, Andrea, in this 3rd quarter?
The fumbles.
Oh yes, the fumbles are just astounding. Some sloppy football. The Big Reds allowed 30 points in the first half, only 14 now. They're definitely now settled in, but it is much too late for something. And so now Roberts in the pistol formation again. He'll take the snap, low snap, he'll get it to Thomas, and Thomas will get out to the 45-yard line.
With being so late in the game, you gotta wonder why he's not putting in his 2nd string.
And so really you've got to believe that, I mean, the injuries have pretty much forced his hand at putting in the 2nd string. And so, with that being said, he pretty much has put in his 2nd string, but not completely. I would still protect the pieces that they still have.
Yes. Just
Low
give
back
this
set.
1.5 to experience.
Adam Lindemann, the ball carrier.
And Lindemuth has been worked like a dog tonight, as it will be more of the same. As that will make it 3rd down and 8, as we might see one final play in this quarter if they get the snap off here. 3rd down and 8 at the 45. And you've got to imagine at least something on the board would make this game worth something rather than experience. And they will get the playoff last play, barring a penalty. And that will be thrown behind the receiver.
Incomplete.
So that will end the third quarter. At the end of 3, the score is
44-0. Huntington High.
the Huntington Highlanders with the advantage there.
You gotta wonder if this is just gonna be a blowout.
Sports fans, that's the end of the third quarter of play with the score Huntington 44, the Big Red
And
0.
so it most certainly has been. And with 12 minutes of football remaining, we really expected Huntington to get out to an early lead, as they really did flex their muscle tonight. And you've got to imagine the faithful fans that have stayed here for this fourth quarter to hang out with us.
All hot foods are half
Yes.
price. Again, sports fans, all hot foods, concession stand.
And so what do you expect to happen in the fourth quarter here?
Well, I expect Huntington just to be running the clock down, trying to get out of here. There's not much Parkersburg can do right now. I mean, 44 points. That's a huge deficit.
So now the Big Reds will take over. Fourth down. And wow, an update from the South game in a moment. Here's Roberts as he will have the back shoulder pass completed to Dan Fox. And South has made a roaring comeback as they are now up 29-26 on Musselman with 6 minutes to go in the game. In regulation, rather, because it's far from over there. And so we will keep you posted if we can. And so now after the Fox reception, it will now be a first down for the Big Reds.
On the 40 or 36-yard line.
It will be. Roberts will evade pressure. He'll get the ball off, and that is, oh, that is underthrown.
Intercepted.
And that's the first pick of his season. And that is just foolish. A terrible throw. And that has got more than you and I upset.
Yeah.
And just a foolish throw, throwing off your back foot. And just as that throw was completed to the wrong team, more fans have filed out. And with about 11 and a half minutes to go in the fourth, that is just completely an insult to injury. His first interception, he really had a lot of burden to bear on his shoulders. He came into this game completing 57% of his passes. And here's Huntington as the ball carrier will try to reverse his field. He'll get to the line of scrimmage. He came in completing over half of his passes, and you definitely don't want to see that from your quarterback.
That is Robert's first interception on the season.
Yes, it is. And so after his fourth start, he will compile a record of now 2-2, and that is where the Big Reds will fall. And there will be another run for the Highlanders, and wow, trucking through defenders as a ball carrier. And so with a win, Huntington will move up to 4-0, and you can only imagine how far PHS will fall in the Class AAA rankings. They were 14th when the day started, and they will probably be outside of that top 16 that you have to be in to qualify for the playoffs, and that has definitely got to be very deflating. A 500 record does not get you there. And
But it is early in the season. It's hard to tell how it'll go.
now pitch, and the ball carrier will be ushered out of bounds. And Thompson was the ball carrier again.
And it looks like he'll get enough for the first down.
And he will at the 41-yard line.
The ball's been spotted at the Highlander 41-yard line.
And here they go in that flex mode again.
It's a quarterback keeper this time.
Quarterback will keep it again.
Clark Wilson, the ball carrier.
And Clark Wilson carried the ball.
Tackle was
A
made
4-yard
by
gain
Nichols.
out to the 45-yard line. Coming up on 9 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this game.
The ball resting at the Highlander 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Is the pitch. And it looks like it'll be
Just short of the first down yardage as that went across midfield to the 49-yard line.
Austin Brown and Cameron
And
McCoy.
it will
led the
be
charge for
3rd
the
down
Big
1.
Reds.
Brown and McCoy were on the stop.
flex bone
It'll be
again.
3rd and less than a yard.
And there was some movement on the line, and that will back Huntington up 5 yards.
Dead ball. False start. On the offense. Tiger penalty. The first down. Third down. Sorry.
And so that will move the ball back to the 45-yard line with just about 9 minutes to go.
Huntington has it on 3rd and 6.
And here they go in this 3rd down situation.
Another
Wil-
flag.
Flags on the
Wilson
play.
kept it. And yes, there will be a flag, and it may have been a false start or a holding. But we will see here.
On the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And the penalty on the offense will be declined, and it will be 4th down. And so a good break for the Big Reds, as that will have only gained 2 yards.
And Huntington will come out to punt.
It'll be 4th and 4.
And now the Big Reds are looking for something to happen here at the 47-yard line is where the punt will occur. Both men back for the Big Reds, looking for a big return.
Thomas and Daniel Fox are deep for the Big Reds.
Fox and Thomas back deep for the Big Reds. Snap was high, kick is up, and it's high as well. And Thomas will avoid that as it is a Big Red bounce, and it will have a very good bounce.
Big Red bounce down by the Highlanders inside the
Down.
25-yard line.
Down on the
Big Reds begin play
23-yard
1st and
line.
10 from their 24.
And now at the 24, now is the time for something to happen here, as all hope has been deteriorated here, but it is never too late for a score with 8:10 to go. They certainly have time for a couple more drives. And who knows, maybe some touchdowns, and that will be great right now at the moment. And it looks like, yes, Roberts is still in. Hamilton in the backfield. Offset eye formation for the Big Reds. Thomas will take the snap. He'll hand it off to Hamilton. Hamilton will get down to about the 27-yard line, and that will be a gain of 3, a 2nd down and 7. Really a nice play when you can gain more yards on the initial hit.
Yes. Gotta wonder why they're running. Nothing seems to be working, and there's not much time left in the ball game. They should probably be passing.
And so Roberts will see the snap. It will be a screen pass on the flats, and not much going there.
Pass complete to
As Cameron McCoy will have his name called, and I'm not quite sure. What kind of play calling is going on now, but that will be enough to move the chains for another Big Reds 1st down. And a 35-yard line with under 7.5 to go. This drive is finally orchestrating to be something worth watching. And so now a bobbled snap Roberts picks it up, and nothing he can do there as he is sacked.
Like 10-yard loss.
And
And it will be close to that.
Aaron Roberts was
And it
scored
will
under.
be Dwan Wheeler,
Huntington front line.
I believe, on the initial hit of Roberts, and that is a 9-yard loss to a 26-yard line.
It's definitely not what the Big Reds were looking for on that play.
And so now in the pistol set, Roberts will take the snap, good snap there. He'll throw it in the middle of the field, and finally it is caught.
Looks
Aaron
about
Roberts
to be
pass complete
around
to
the
Lance
original
Gordon.
line of scrimmage.
And Hoyler finally got his hands around it and finally caught the ball there. That gains it back to about the original line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line. 10 to go here. So now they're sticking to that same pistol formation. Here's Roberts. He steps up, he will run. No, he will look and he'll throw. And that's
And it's
picked off. Wow, a nice catch.
Number
And
21.
Intercepted by
Nate
Nate
Heichal.
Heichal.
Heichel, rather, with the interception. And wow, that is
Play resumes on
That
the
is a
first and 10 for the
second
Highlanders.
interception
The ball
of
has been
the
placed at their
quarter?
38-yard line.
yes, at the quarter for Aaron Roberts, and that's also the second of his starting career. And so that is textbook defense at its finest, but also not a good time to extend the play when the man was covered. And
There's a flag on the play.
flag thrown by the offensive line, and it looks like it will be on Huntington. With 5:46 to go, I'm Josh Hughes alongside Andrea O'Brien,
We got a dead ball. Encroachment.
and encroachment on
PHS.
the offense, rather.
I
And
apologize.
so it was lined up off the line, and so that will make it 1st and 15 at the 42-yard line. There in the I formation. No, there in the offset I formation. There he goes. He'll pitch it to the back, and he'll get to the 40, to the 45, and there's a flag down in the secondary. And the clock was starting there, down at 5:35. And we will see what this penalty is about. And they're throwing flags like they're going out of style.
Yes, this second half has been very, very sloppy, both with turnovers and flags.
Now we might see a holding call. We might be seeing something with PHS's secondary, and it will be a holding call.
40. On the offense.
And
10
that
yards
will
for
be a
Aaron
10-yard penalty from the end of the
Roberts.
run.
Down.
And they will do 1st down over again. And that is certainly disappointing. But hey, who is to judge you when you are up 44-0? A great showing by the Huntington Highlanders. And heck, they might just vault up a few notches in the rankings here.
Definitely playing like a championship team.
And finally, he is tripped up by his own man.
Clark Wilson,
And
ball carrier.
Clark Wilson was given chase by, looked like, number 45 for the Big Reds,
Tripped up on the play by Travis Doss.
and Travis Doss, another senior on that team.
Timeout. Huntington.
And after the 17-yard loss, it will be a timeout for Huntington. And so now going into the rest of the year for the Big Reds, their schedule does not get much easier. They have a road game, then back here at home against Riverside, and then with their big rivalry game against South. With this being the case, Andrea, do you see this team doing well in the long run?
Not likely. I mean, they do well in the away games, which is really strange. But to play like this at home, it's not looking good.
If you look at their strength of schedule, the 2 wins they had were against Brook. They made the playoffs, but they did not go far, and they played Marietta, who struggled last year. But it's always good to get those wins to ensure yourself at least a chance to move on. And this football program has really leveled off in the last 4 or 5 years. And so it's very disappointing there in the flex zone again. And Wilson will keep the ball. He will be chased down and thrown down by the defense. And finally, it is great to see some enthusiasm on the defensive line. That'll make it 3rd down. Keenan Mills on the stop.
3rd down, almost 30 yards to go.
And so clock is winding down to about 4.5 minutes to go. Here's Wilson, and I do not expect a lot of throwing here, but they will, yes, keep the ball on the ground and get out to about the 31-yard line, and that'll gain about a yard.
And they will send the special teams out to punt.
That'll gain 3 yards, rather, out to 33.
Highlanders turn the ball over. Correction, it'll be 4th and long.
And yes, they will send the special teams unit out. And the always explosive Chandler Hamilton back there. Actually, no, it is Daniel Fox back there with Dylan Thomas, rather. High snap, the kick is a long kick. Fielded by Fox at about the 25-yard line, and he gets about 3 yards on the play. So 3:41 to go, still 14-0. Looks like the Big Reds have finally, for lack of a better term, really sniffed out this offensive attack of Huntington, as they've only allowed 14 points in the second half. What do you make of that?
Honestly, they have gotten their substitutions in. They're making good plays off the ball. They're just keeping them in check.
So now the Big Reds might have one more drive left in them. Now the 27-yard line.
They line up in a shotgun.
And that is a handoff to Hamilton, looks like, and it is. He will get to the 32-yard line, 31-yard line, and that'll be a gain of 3.
You gotta wonder if they're keeping their first string in, why they're not at least trying to score. Just handing off the ball.
Oh, definitely. If you look at their injuries, I mean, they've suffered a lot of injuries that have been detrimental to really winning games. And so there's a handoff in the I formation, and Hamilton will get enough for the first down to the 41. But as I was saying, they really have suffered a lot of injuries, which means they really have put in their second string. But as I said before in the broadcast, I would try to take out some pieces of a puzzle that are still there and still healthy while they still have them.
Last thing you need is for Chandler Hamilton or someone to get injured.
And so now 2.5 minutes remaining. I formation again for Parkersburg. And is handed off.
Yet again.
Melvin Stubbs, the ball carrier.
Stubbs with the carry to the 44.
Austin Budd in on the stop for the Highlanders.
So now Stubbs, the third string running back. It's really a great thing whenever you see the Big Reds running well. And so Stubbs could really get some experience and really help out the future cause for helping this program get back on track. Here's Roberts again. He'll throw in the middle of the field, and it's picked off.
yet again. And he's
And it was Stubbs and another offensive player on the stop. And that offensive player,
third interception in the fourth quarter.
that interception caused an offensive player to be injured over on the Huntington sideline. I cannot see who it is. And no, it looks like he is okay. It looked like Dylan Thomas. Yes, it was Dylan Thomas. And you've got to admire the grit of Dylan Thomas as he will stay right back out there on the field for defense. 1:45 to go. And the Highlanders will probably just run the clock out. And there's another run out to about the 31-yard line. And so now it'll be second down at the 30-yard line with a minute and a half to go. And so Andrea, Kenzie and I had some trouble pinpointing a player of the game. Who has really been a player of the game for you?
Honestly, it's been the whole team. The offense, the defense, the special teams with the big 72-yard punt.
Now flag, so this will basically be a free play. But yeah, it's really been a team effort. And so if you look, their stats are just eye-popping. Over 300 yards of total offense. As they've totally just torched this defense. And so a penalty on the Highlanders will take that run away. Back at the 35-yard line. It'll be second down and 10.
This fourth quarter has been very, very, very sloppy. Penalty after penalty, interceptions, fumbles.
And so whenever they were not letting Roberts throw the ball for the Big Reds, I mean, he was doing fine, I guess. I mean, 3 of 9 to begin, and then he kind of settled down, and then 3 interceptions just like that. And now I believe we have a timeout on the field. Yes, we do. No, we do not. And it's a delay of game, and I was looking at the clock, and it looked like they would have called a timeout before time expired. And I'm not quite sure why they let the clock run out, but that's why I'm not a coach. But anyway, it will be second down, and they will take the best formation in football, the kneel down, and that will be that from Stadium Field. And they will probably just take.
Huntington will win this game 44-0, a blowout.
And it has definitely been that. And so they will run one more knee. And that would do it here